This is Dirshu Mishnah Berurah as we continue learning Simin Nun Gimel. Today we're going to be learning Sif Vav through Sif Yod Aleph. And we begin with Sif Vav, in which the Mechaber teaches us Ein Mimanin El Mish Nismali's Kanai. You do not appoint someone to be a Sheikh Sibur unless he has a full beard. For what reason? Mibnei Kivoid Hatzibur. Due to the honor that the Sibur requires, only one with a beard should daven for the Amud. Aval ba'akrai, but at chances that once in a while, once one is an adult, he already brought shtei seiros, he has 2 pubic hairs, he's allowed to daven for the Amud. Ubelvad, provided, sheismanim biyat tzibur, oy mibi shliach tzibur hamamano yisel ha'akal alav lispal ba'adoy li'itim yodun. Provided that he's not appointed from the tzibur, or in order to daven at set times. So says the Mishnah Berurah over here, Sivkat al-Chav Gimel at-Tzibur ve'in at-Tzibur yichol limchol al-kvonim bezeh, Tzibur cannot be meichel their kavod. Ba'akroi, kol zeh b'shari ma'isa shana. This is only the rest of the year. Avol, b'tainis Rosh Hashanah v'yemekruin avilu ba'akroi marid l'mishlo nismal iskanai. We cannot put up someone who does not have a full beard. And the tzibur cannot be meichelis. So let's take a moment and let's pull up. No, we do not have it over here. Okay, let's continue. Says Mishnah Berurah, Sivkat al-Chavei, Mishevi Shtei Cyrus. What's the limer? Before he's 13 years old, bringing 2 pubic hairs is meaningless. You don't have to check. The B'davar D'Rabbanan Adina B'Tzar Rubash Ramdin Shtei Cyrus B'Yisaz Man. So then D'Rabbanan, should we assume that the child is one of the Roiv, that he brings Shtei Cyrus once he turns 13. Says B'Magad in 1 second, the Rambam holds Tfilas D'Araisa, Ya'asal Hashat Zel Oitzi De'achem B'Tfili can't be mighty someone else. Achenei De'Bevada Shevi Shtei Cyrus Ayin Sham. But in reality, nowadays, you're not really being Yotzi anyone's tefillah, so you don't really have to worry about that. You're doing Sivkat al-Chavav. There's that kaviyas loisei, because that's considered a kaviyas, that's considered a set amount of time. Says Mishnah Berurah. This does not necessarily include someone that he's just the official standby chazan. Such a person would be allowed. In bezeh iser klal. These are mikri kavua kivjav shelo evel deikach. It's not called kavua because it might not come to this. Meaning, kavua is only he is going to be your sheikh sibur. But if they want to appoint someone that he's going to be waiting in the wings in case they have no one else, that's okay. From the words of the Taz, Mishnah explains it has to be with certainty this person is going to daven. They argued it's only not kavua if he's not appointed at all. Now, one point that we just have to mention, when the Shulchan Aruch says Nismali Zekanai, it does not necessarily mean he actually has a beard. Nismali Zekanai means his beard is full. That's a level of maturity in halacha in which one doesn't have a few hairs on his face, but he grows facial hair. That is what we refer to over here. Sif Zayin says the Mechaber, if there's no one who knows that a daven came and you'd give him Shalom Yomechad, aside for one who's 13 years old in one day, it's better for the 13-year-old in one day to be a Sheikh Sibur than to be Mavatel and not hear Kedusha and Kaddish. There's no Mishnah Berurah in Sif Zayin, so we go immediately into Sif Ches. Says the Mechaber in Sif Ches, Misha Einai Baal Zakein, someone who does not have a beard, as we just explained. Anyone that is recognizable, that he's of age, here the Mechaber speaks out what we just spoke out a moment ago. Anyone who's of age, that he's roi to have a full beard, that is called one with a full beard. Meaning, so it's not a din over here that he has to proactively, currently have facial hair. It means he is capable of growing such hair. Someone who is 20, says Mechaber, he get down for the Amud even without a beard. Says the Ramah, even if he has a little bit of a beard, he's 18, And this really, sometimes people make fun, but we see it should not be, as the Ramah himself points out. This is really where a lot of times people down for the Amid, Yom Narayim, they leave and they don't shave for a week or two. And that's what we see right here in the Ramah. He has a zakin, afilu ma'at, that will suffice. So let's see the Mishnah Berurah, Sivkot Chavzayin, Shein lo Yizakin, Lafi Girsa Gra, Sachasayim Berkedala, and Sham Yetoli Din Zeb Din Mino Yasris, Abura Siftas, as we're about to see right now in Siftas, which is a different set of halachas, whether we're chayshid, whether we suspect that this person is a sris, he's unable to have children. So it says the Mechaber in Siftas, let's see this halacha. Sris, someone who's unable to have children, some say once he's 20, is allowed to daven for the Amud. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sris, Sivkadul Chavchas, Tahainu, Shnir, Boy, Simane Sris, he has the signs of such a person. If not, we assume he is a child. It's a degradation for the tzibur of such a person to daven for them. Ben Esther will sift katul chavtas. The koidim afilu nearby simani tzris blavach liyichli yoshaz afilu ba'akrai to dainu katan under 20. We will not allow him to daven for the amud. And we conclude today's share with Sif Yod. Says the Mechaber. Says the Mechaber, we should be Melamed Tzchos. It's not such a big deal if there are congregations that allow a child to daven for them in a Motzei Shabbos. Says the Ramah, which of course is like we have nowadays. All our places are considered places that do not have such a minhag. You should not allow a child to daven for the Amud. Feel a bit tefillas harvest. I feel even if he reaches the age 13 on Shabbos, you should not have a ma'ariv. It's not considered one who's 13 years old. He has a complete 13 years. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sivkot and Lamed, tefillas harvest. These were the places that a minhag that allow someone to daven for the Amud if they're a child. Because they're ma'ariv, tefillas harvest for shas, and you're not being yotzei. And you're not being yotzei the rabbim with such a tefillah. Shareina machzirnes a tefillah because you don't have chazer tashas. Rak shemin baruch hu v'kadosh only baruch hu and kadosh. V'oitayim ma'acher mein beiseisif. V'chol ze nidchak rak lekayim aminog. This is only to be makayim the minhag that there was in such places. Avul ba'atzmei sever deinachayin lachatchil lasis kain. But says the Mishnah Berurah that he himself, the beiseisif himself, agrees that's not the appropriate thing to do. But Motzei Shabbos, if Kotel Lamed Aleph, Hu Adin, Arvis, the whole same thing during the week. El Shaminag Shanagu, Bois HaMekomos, Motzei Shabbos, that was the minhag. But Tzilas Arvis, if Kotel Lamed Beis, Misha Baruch Hu, Shabbat B'Kotel Baruch Hu, Hu Adin, Shlo Yifres, Al Shema, Mishlo Shama, Baruch Hu B'Shach, Shlo Shama, Baruch Hu B'Shachas. The Be'emes Baruch Hu Nami Mitzvah Al Kol HaTzibur, says Mishnah Berurah, Baruch Hu says, well, Mitzvah L'Tzibur, L'Shama Shachas V'Arvis, Katan in Chayiv, Ina Moitzim Azeh, Katan Zachayiv, so Katan should not be the one to do that as well. Darei Adayin Sev Katan Lam Gimel, talking about someone who becomes a mitzvah on Shabbos, he should not daven Ma'ariv, says the Mishnah Berurah, Ratzalaymar. But Mekayim Shenagim L'Tzval Shal Shabbos B'Erev Shabbos, in a place that the minhag is to daven Shabbos, on Erev Shabbos, they make early Shabbos B'Bayid Yoim, Mishav Teisefeh Shabbos, Mikol Mokom, Adayin Lo Nishlu Yud Gimel Shana Lel Shabbos. So Mishnah Berurah over here tells us a very fundamental din when one is considered a bar mitzvah. Someone, for example, in the summer months, which is very common to make an early Shabbos, someone who becomes a mitzvah on Shabbos, that child is not allowed to daven for the Amud Ma'ariv, even though it's Shabbos and you accept it's Shabbos. But with regard to davening for the Amud, you need to have 13 years. Tosefes Shabbos doesn't complete him to being an adult. But if you have a ma'ariv after Seitzechavim, Motelei Levnei Ateiva, then a bar mitzvah boy is allowed to daven for the Amud. Says Mishnah Berurah, answering a question that many people I'm sure had. That yesterday the Mishnah Berurah himself used the terminology 13 years in one day. Doesn't mean you actually need 13 years in one day. It means you need 13 years complete, day to day. Which comes to exclude if someone's lacking hours. like in this case that they're making early Shabbos. Therefore, right at the beginning of the night, once it says a kachavim, he's considered a gadol, and he could daven for the amud. The zone is born in Rosh Hashanah, between being Hashemashah is twilight. 14th year, once night time comes, he's considered a gadol. We learned a lot of fundamental dinim. One has the din of a gadol, when a bar mitzvah boy get down for the amud. We'll pick it out from Sif Yud Aleph in the next year, in Mir Tzah Hashem.